Welcome everyone to the family tree. Put your hands together. Welcome yourself coming into.
Welcome yourselves.
I want to say
us back to the main screen.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring on back to the screen as I fade the music.
There we go. There we go.
All right. What's up, everybody? All right. Everybody looking good. Everybody looking good.
Y'all, I wish
Am I back yet? Am I back to the screen yet?
Yes. Yes, we're back.
All right.
Patricia
I'm back
got
to
a
the
cool
screen.
hat on. Go ahead, Pep.
All right. Welcome,
hey guys,
everyone.
Before we get started, let me remind everybody that if you're not asking questions, you're not talking, make sure you mute yourself so that we don't get a carryover, okay?
All right.
We respect everybody. All right, Big Dr. Paul.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Thank you, Big B.
Yeah,
and I want to say welcome to the family tree. And if this is your first time, thanks for joining us. This is the holistic hour. We're going to, or hours. It depends on how long we're going to be on here today. We talk about everything and everything that's going on in the world.
8:30.
What's 8:30? Yes, I'm trying to get out of here today, y'all. All right.
Doctor is it.
I'm going to try to do my best to get out of here by 8:30. All right. Okay, so I want to say, first of all, that those that are joining for the very first time, we're going to go into a session where we're going to talk about any and everything that's going on in the world, holistic approaches, things that are going on, that this is the family tree. And from the family tree, you can bring all the questions and concern because your social security is what? Your family. And no better place to ask than the tree. And from that, we're going to talk about holistic remedies, things that are going on, hot topics that are happening right now around the world. And to start that off, we're going to start with my co-host with the mostest. That will be Bill 1L Morgan. Let's get Bill 1L Morgan a hand.
I love it, man. I love it, buddy.
All right, Big B, tell us what's going on in the world. He's going to drop some new information and all the what's going on with the world with numbers with COVID-19. All right.
As always, guys, coming from our very, very, very favorite site. That's InCove. That's InCOV219.live. Here are our numbers as of 5 minutes ago, guys. Total confirmed cases. These are our quick facts. Total confirmed cases, 182,910,777. Those are the total confirmed cases worldwide. Total critical cases, 79,318. Total deceased, 3,961,001. Total active cases, 16,861,486. Okay, drum roll, count. Here we go. Yes. I love it, boy. The total recovered, guys, 165,696,836. That's our mental health moment.
All right. Oh, wow. So, Big B, you said how many are there now that are
total recovered cases? 165,696,836.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's our mental health moment for the day, guys.
Yes. And if you are, looking at the numbers, we're going to talk today about the Delta Plus. Have y'all heard about the Delta Plus?
Yes.
You have not been a part of the family tree. We've been talking about this a while, Big B.
Yes.
We've been talking about the Delta Plus and what's happening. So if you have a question, a concern that you want to ask, even if you have a testimony, okay, make sure you mute yourself before you start talking, family. Also, go down to reactions down on your bar there and click on raise your hand. That's the only way I can see you. If you're zooming in, raise your hand. And then we can see that. And either Big B or myself, we will look and find you and get your question across. You can also go into the chat room and you can drop it on Bill Morgan over there, or you can put it out to everyone and they'll try to retrieve it off of there. And Prophetess Lisa over there is actually with we call AKA Fingers.
That's Fingers over there.
Fingers over there. She's going to be dropping the line for the actual transcript that's available at the end of this program. Okay, and you can get that by Big B over there. Tell them how they can get the transcript after it's all over.
Yes,
right?
Indeed. You want to make sure you get a copy of the chat, you make sure you send me an email to mechavideo@gmail.com. Listen carefully. Don't out-talk me.
Okay.
Y'all got to make sure you get the information correct, right? Make sure you send me an email at mechavideo@gmail.com. I will also put that information in the chat. Either I will do it or Prophet will also make sure that we get it into you so that when it's all done tonight, Dr. Paul sends me the link for the video and also the chat. I'll make sure we get that out to you, especially the chat by tomorrow.
Okay.
And usually no later than Friday for the video. So that we'll actually have it on Dr. Paul's Health Network and also on my page for the videos. That way you can go
and
along
Big
and
B, just give it for those. Could you just for those that are listening on the phones, could you spell it out for them? Make sure you always spell it out for them slowly.
Okay, here we go. MECCAVIDEO @gmail.com. Okay. Got it? MECCAVIDEO @gmail.com.
All right. And also, if you are calling in and we cannot see you, of course, if you have a question, just make us aware of it. We'll try to get to you and unmute yourself, and we'll try to get a hold of your question or concern that you are bringing to the family tree tonight. Okay?
Yes.
All right. As the hands go up and we start to go into the questioning, there is something I wanted to talk about today. And before we go into the Delta Plus, which is the big concern now, everyone's talking about the Delta Plus as, the world is shutting down. We're opening up. Not good, y'all. I would not be it's very interesting how this math is going on.
Yeah.
I released this week, actually at the end of Sunday's program, the top blood cleanser herbs. Did everyone get that? Get that? If you got that,
right here, Dr. That's what it looks like, guys.
All right. And we'll show you how you can get that, because again, going back to what this is all about, this is about not a lung issue. This is a blood issue. And you have to learn how to clean your blood. And this is what old folks used to say back in the day. You say you got tired blood. You got tired blood or just bad blood. And that's why we say clean the blood, because you'll clean every organ in the body, because all the blood flows through every organ every 20 minutes. How about that? All right? So we're going to go into that. If you do not have that list, I will show you how to get through to that. Okay?
Right. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go to some few questions as I go also to start to scroll down here. I'm going to go to the top of my list here of the hands that are raised. And we're going to go straight from there. And let's see here. Who do we have here?
I had one that was actually sent. There was an email sent to me about polyps.
Okay, you want to go with that one first?
Start with that one. So that one came in yesterday.
Okay.
Nasal polyps. What herbs can we use to get rid of nasal polyps?
For nasal polyps.
Polyps. Yes.
Yeah, I would have some more questions about the nasal polyps.
Okay.
That's what else did they say? They just said nasal polyps. Period.
Yeah, that was just it. Yes.
Okay, definitely. When you're dealing with nasal polyps, if those that are listening know about nasal polyps, so just like the polyps that occur in the intestines, they're actually particulates that basically form as could be bacteria, could be in the lining of those areas of the sinuses or the nasal cavities, which can cause blockage in a lot of cases. But we actually go back to what is causing a lot of the nasal problems, period. Goes back to, dairy products. Watch the dairy products.
Wow.
So I would start to probe in their food and their choices of food in their diet first. Sinus issues, we got to make sure you're not getting acid forming foods. Number one, top 10 toxic foods, but also water and definitely dairy. You got to stay off the dairy food. That is cheese. Yes, cheese counts, y'all. Cheese counts. Yep. So plant-based, I put them on. We would say recommend plant-based diet, plant-based milks. If they have to do milk or if they have to do cheese, plant-based cheese. Got it? And you can get a lot of that off of our website, which is nongmoproject.org. That's an excellent website that you can go to. And from there, you can get a list of different products that are alternatives. Or you can just take your book, pad, those things that you love on one side, other side, start to go through places like Whole Foods, Mom's, Sprouts, And then write down those things that are that are non-acid forming. You got to start to stay away from that. It's that milk, man. That's what it is. When we start to do cleansing of the sinuses or the nasal cavities, we start with, those herbs that are expectorants also. So mullein, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. We start the things with the mullein. We start with the olive leaf extract. Okay, we start with all of the things that we talked about with cleansing the mucus, that pool mucus, oregano oil. Those are our normals. We talk about that a lot here on the family tree, especially because of the COVID-19. So those are the things that I would do. There are what's called neti pots. Neti pot? Anybody know about the neti pot?
Yeah.
You actually can use the cleansing. You can use that. That's a form of flushing. Okay, where you use some form of salt water, which in this case we recommend is Himalayan sea salt. You can also use a vaporizer. The Vicks vaporizer?
Yes.
Okay, what you would use is a towel over that vaporizer, but what you would put in that vaporizer would be some form of a eucalyptus and Himalayan salt. That's what we use to open up the sinuses. That's another way. Got it? So those are some of the things that we would do to cleanse, but I would have further questions for them with their dietary and the things that they choose for diet. Usually that's coming from years and years of having mucus problems, sinus problems, not breathing properly over, just having a lot of those issues. Got it? So we would have more questions for that person. All right. I'm going to go to my top of the list there, and I have Zipporah. Zipporah.
Hi, Dr. Paul. And my
how
mom.
are you?
I'm well.
Hey, Mom. How are you?
Is Mom over there with you?
I saw her. Mom's chilling. Good to see you, Mom. All right.
Yeah. So the question is, how are y'all tonight?
Terrific.
We are doing well. Doing well. Yep.
Yeah, we're surviving here in this heat.
Yes,
and,
the heat. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think it bothered Mom because she talks gibberish from time to time. You want to say something? Or try to say something. We'll talk. You won't talk? Or just let him know. Here, just say something.
Dr. Paul, I can say something, then I can't say nothing. You just gumble up and gumble pass.
Okay, so I missed that. What did she say?
Yeah, she was saying like she'll talk, regular. Then all of a sudden she'll go shit, like she's talking in another foreign language.
Okay. Make sure she having any dizzy spells at all.
You having any dizzy spells? No.
No dizzy spells. Okay. When did you take her temperature? Take her temperature.
Take her temperature.
Okay. You got to make sure you take her temperature. Reason, family, if you're hearing this, where I'm leading to the direction of we got to watch out for. When our seniors start to get in hot weather like this, you got to watch out for urinary tract infections. Got it? Urinary tract infections. UTIs play a role on people, and they're not understanding it in our allopathic system. People will, especially our seniors, go to the ERs, and when they go in, they're saying, oh, man, these seniors come in, they talking crazy, and they mumbling and jumbling, and they can't remember nothing, and they falling, and they just making jokes out of it. But really what's happening is we got to watch for infections, okay? Just to make sure we're clear from infections. Urinary tract infections means that seniors can't go to the bathroom as much because legs are weak, tired. You may have a challenge in your house where you have to go up and down stairs. Whatever the case may be, you're holding it, okay? When you're holding the urine, especially on days like hot days like that, and it's also... when you're holding it, you're holding in the lower chakra, lower burner, root chakra. And that from that area, that's the perfect condition for bacteria to grow. Got it? So now the body says, wait a minute, I got to get rid of this bacteria, this pollutant. So when you try to go to the bathroom, you finally go to the bathroom, you go and you come out and you say, you know what? Feel like I still got to go again. That's because what's happening is the bladder feels full, it's empty, but the lining of the bladder is actually infected. Got it? Or inflamed. So what happens, the body's automatically going to try to sort of defend itself or to burn out the poison. So it speeds up the heart. That's one thing. So that's when the heart palpitations come in. So you speed up the heart. As you speed up the heart, now the temperature rises. The temperature rises too high to a temperature too close to 108, which is the temperature of boiling blood. So it runs around 101, 102, or if you're running around 99, 100 or something, that's too hot. Too much heat on the brain, and then that causes discombobulation. They sort of get dizzy. So you ever heard somebody say, grandma or grandpop or somebody, so-and-so keep falling? Why do they keep on falling? I don't know what's going on. Urinary tract infections. Got me? So you got to check the temperature, number one. Got it? You got to check the temperature. Make sure she's definitely hydrated, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Don't wait till you say I'm thirsty. No, it's already too late. Got it? So you got to make sure she's getting plenty of water. I would add a little bit of Himalayan salt to the water. Got it? You need a little salts, just a little bit of salts, but it's unrefined salts, not white salts. Got it?
Yeah.
That's 84 to 90 minerals. Get her on a green drink as soon as possible and monitor her pressure. Got it?
Yes.
Those are the things you got to be. And if she starts to get elevated in those things like that, and you have to stabilize her, you do have to get her to a hospital, okay?
All right.
You do not want to play with that, especially when the pressure gets high and it's a hot day like this.
Yes.
Is she in cool environment? Y'all look kind of cool over there, like y'all got air conditioning, right? Y'all got air conditioning? All right. All right.
Can I have a second
Matter of fact, everybody in here look cool, so I know y'all got air conditioning.
And I have something else to say. A second matter is that I have a relative who's in the hospital, and what happened was that they was pumping some kind of like a bad fluid or something out of his stomach, and they said it was like it smelled really bad. Now I know it's his lymphatic system that's been poisoned, from the toxins that's in it. And they have to do an operation to remove, because they're trying to pump out that toxin, but it's troubling.
Yeah, anytime that's happening, it's the lymphatic system, because the toxins. You got to watch the bacteria that's able to enter into the bloodstream. That becomes septic poisoning, y'all. So it's the body saying, hey, I can't do anything, you're overloading me, I have no other choice but to dump it in the blood, and that's what's going to happen. So you got to keep it clean. So remember, I'm going to go over this list of the blood cleansers. Thanks to our, what was about 2 shows ago, Big B?
Yes.
And Prophetess, that we actually sat down and just off the top, we just started going off the top of blood cleansers, because I got tired of y'all talking about, herbs. That I said, you know what, let's go off the top. And, and we kept rolling, and next thing you know, I rolled up to about 75 to 80 herbs. Got it? And these
he
are
got beside himself, y'all.
I just got beside myself and just kept going.
All down on one piece of paper.
Got it on one sheet of paper.
Yes.
Now, that's where I want to go in today, and I want to tell you, all you got to do. Did everybody get it, by the way? Did everybody get it? If you did not get it, Big B or Prophetess, can you send a link down to the download page where you can go right to my website?
Sure.
Grab it right now. I want everybody to grab it, because you got to have this. It's and I went back and I started pulling out the different herbs that are actually some of the ancient and cultural. Even the names themselves tell you the culture and the lore for where they come from and what they were used for the time and for the healing of the nations. So that's why this is so important, that you use it for such a time as this. This is the divine point now, that you have to clean your blood. These people are not playing with us. This stuff in the air, atmosphere, pollutants, chemicals, water, everything they're talking about has contaminants. And you're being exposed to this every single day, along with electronic pollution. That's a whole nother thing that our ancestors had no idea or had to experience, but you are experiencing this now. You're experiencing electronic pollution. Grandma and them never had to deal with electronic pollution like we're experiencing right now. Radiation, things like that. So that's why you got to get back. We got to get back to some of the basic fundamentals. And of that list, I want you to pick one. You hear me? All you got to do is just pick one. Did you hear me? One. Take one herb that's on that list and work with that. You got it? They say, well, which one? Anyone. All of them been around about 1 billion years. How about that? So check it. Look at the list. Check it twice. Prophets, I think either Big B or
it's already there, Dr. Paul.
Hit the link. Go to it. Download it.
Just download it.
Keep it by your side, and you go through the ones. You don't have to get all of them. Get one, and work with that one. All right. All right. Good. Okay, Zipporah.
All right, thanks, Dr. Paul. And Mom, I gave Mom the your green drink as well, because I was reading about the ingredients, and like my mind told me, give her the green drink, because she had the beetroot.
Right.
I automatically went to your green drink. I read the ingredients, saw the beet in there, and it's just as good. So.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of seniors, though, they're going to need 3 a day. Okay, they're going to need 3 a day. See, they don't eat a whole lot. They can't take a lot of food. See, when you start to get older, the older we get, that's why you say, I don't eat as much as I used to, because it takes a lot of energy to break the food down. Did you know that to break down and digest food, it takes sometimes 80 to 85% of your energy to break down the food?
Wow.
So it takes energy to get energy, and that's where, especially if you're eating meat, it's even more. You got it? So it's hard for them to break that down. So that's why the green drinks work so well. The green drinks are excellent because you have to use no energy to get energy, and it's what's called bioavailable. Bioavailable means that I don't have to use any of this energy. I drink it, goes right into the bloodstream. Boom. Yes. And you got it. I had to use no energy to do that. That's why teas were always good. Teas are also good because you use no energy to get energy. And that's the game. That's why when people got really sick back in the day, they gave them some herb teas, and they got right up out of bed. You got it? All right, Zipporah. So keep that green drink rolling. I would give her at least 3 a day, okay?
Yeah. And regarding my relative that's in the hospital, with a green drink, flushed out that bacteria that's in his lymphatic system?
It will absolutely, because a lot of the bacteria and things that are in the body needs what's called the sea vegetables. A lot of the sea vegetables, the kelp, the chlorella, spirulina, sea moss, purple dulse seaweeds, bladderwrack, nori. All of those have these things called medium chain to large chain triglycerides, which actually like a dragnet pulls this stuff out of your body. And right now it's also, if you can't see God, you ain't looking. It feeds you and fights for you at the same time. Woo, ain't God bad. All right. Oh, ain't that awesome, boy? I tell you, that's awesome. Okay, Zipporah, thank you so much. All right, keep me posted, okay?
All right, thanks again.
All right.
Be sure to mute.
Dr. Paul, can I ask you a question about the seniors? If their body is overheated, is it better to give them water or like a Gatorade?
Oh, no way a Gatorade. No way. Gatorade is one of the worst things you can be taking. Remember what Gatorade is. It's got its name from the Florida Gators football team that back in the day used to use this special formula that was derived from, believe it or not, pickle juice and some other things. But then they started to now modify it into what you have now. This is long gone from what the original formula was. This thing that they call Gatorade right now is refined white sugar, refined white salts, color, and that's all it is. Yep. And processed waters, yes, and bad water. And then the electrolytes that they use is cheap white salt. Got it? So there is no electrolytes. That stuff has been known to cause people to go into diabetic comas. Got it? Got it? Stay away from that stuff. That is the worst thing you can say. Stay away from Gatorade. Stay away from the Boost. Stay away from the Ensures. All of those things. All of those things are toxic, but they get the most play because they're the most marketed.
We lost you, Dr. P. Dr. Paul, did you lose him? We lost him, guys. Maybe he'll get himself back together here in just a second. Okay, we lost
you. Back
you.
me?
Yeah, we got you back now.
Okay, all right. Let me just check the internet speed on here. What was the last thing I was saying?
Is stay away from boosts.
Yeah, boost, all that stuff. That's the most boost, Ensure.
Yes.
You know, the Red Bull.
So if a person body is overheated, what do you just give them the plain water then?
He froze again, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody can.
You froze again, but you're back.
New chapter. So what do you give them if their body is overheated?
Yeah, hold up. Water. Water.
Water. Okay.
Yeah, water. That's it. Water. And then here's the time that you give the person. You give them. Hey, mute yourself. Mute yourself, Steve. Steven, mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Okay, all right. All right, hold on. Let me get a couple of things here. I'm going to pause a couple of things here. Speed up. I should speed up in a second. I have a lot of things on my line right now. And let me just pause a few devices. Got a lot of devices on right now. I'm doing updates also. Can y'all hear me now, family?
Yeah, we got you fine. Keep
okay,
going now.
yeah. I'm just, it's probably a lot of internet devices I have on right now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now what was the last thing I was saying that you heard? Okay.
Let's give them water.
Yes, absolutely. Water. If a senior, now this is the time, you know, when people say, well, wait a minute, should I drink, you know, room temperature water or cold water? Got it? Y'all heard this all the time. The fight has gone back and forth. And people say, well,
temperature.
Okay, you said room temperature, right? Except there's one exception to the rule.
Oh, really?
Yes, the only exception to the rule is if it's hot outside, like 100 degrees.
Yes.
That's the only exception. Remember, it's all about your body temperature. Your body temperature is supposed to be regulated at what? 98.6
degrees.
Right? So if you go higher than 98.6, you got to bring it down. That's the only time that cold water brings it down. Any other time, if you're in the winter time, do not drink that because your temperature is around what? It's probably going to be a little less than 98, and it's going to be cold, so you would drink room temperature. It's all based on the body temperature at that moment because if your body cannot use it if it doesn't warm it up till 98.6. You got it? Can't use it. So if you're over that point and your body needs to cool down because especially for a lot of seniors, they can roll over to high and it goes over, their blood pressure goes too high. You got to bring it down drastically. You got to lower it back to 98.6. That's going to be water. Got it? That's the only way to do it. That's the quickest way of doing it. Also, there's a little trick. If you have someone that's out and about, or if you feel yourself a little faint, sometimes when your temperature gets too high, see, room temperature is not going to do this. You got to bring the temperature down drastically. You take, and if you feel lightheaded, and if you've been exercising, you're feeling a little dizzy, yep, pressure's going out of control, your temperature's going too high. So you take cold water, got it? Cold water. Or if you can't get cold water, grab some ice, put it in, wrap it in a paper towel or some form of a rag. Put it on the base of your neck. Got it? On the base of your neck, right where your cervical spine is. If you press it right there, you will wake the person right back up. We've saved so many people just with that move right there. Just with that move right there. Got it? And that will save somebody's life from having a stroke or a heart attack.
All right, that's a great one. That's a great
Got it? Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I didn't skip, did I?
No, don't skip. No, we got you.
Okay. All right, put it right on the back. Let me see here. Right here. Right there. That will cool the person down. That will cool you down faster than anything. Right there. Putting it right there at the base of the spine. If you have some ice or something. And I've had people that I remember one time I was doing a seminar. And somebody was giving a speech right at the seminar and passed out right at the mic.
Wow.
And I had been online. I did my presentation. I was in the back, and they called me and said, hey, somebody passed out. I came out there. They were laid out. Get some water, cold water, apply it to the back of the neck. She woke right up, just like that. Got it? That's a lifesaver, y'all. Write that one down. That's a lifesaver. Got it? Okay. All right. Let's see, as we'll let more folks in. Big B, you got anything over there on the chat?
Trigger finger. What can you do about trigger finger, doctor?
Trigger finger, you gotta soak that. You gotta soak that. That's tendons. That's also omegas. Yes. Fatty acids. You gotta start to get your fatty acids. Sea buckthorn is what I recommend for that. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Hemp seeds, flax seeds, things like that, adding to your diet. You need the omegas. Because what happens is when you have a trigger finger, that's the body going after the tendons in the finger, and it pulls it. Next thing you know, you can't move that finger. Got it? Okay. So you got to go back to soaking also with something like a Himalayan salt. Got it? Mm-hmm. Himalayan salt is what I recommend.
Okay.
There is what I also recommend, believe it or not, is that turpentine oil. Turpentine oil is good for that too.
Yeah.
Turpentine oil. Y'all remember turpentine oil, right?
Yeah.
Little turpentine oil deals with the bursa. That's the patch, like people have the rotator cuffs. Like the pads that are in the body, the bursas, the meniscus tears, things like that. That helps to soothe the inflammation in those areas. So get yourself and just keep it on handy. Turpentine oil. Those are the mineral spirits that you can buy that in a lot of the older stores are still selling that. If you go online, I showed y'all mine, didn't I? Didn't I show y'all?
No, you were hiding that from.
Yes, I did. I showed that about 4 weeks or something ago.
I was yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I did.
Yes, you did.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Karen, he said, glad you got.
He got my back. Karen got my back. I ain't got. I'm not glitching that bad.
Did you say something else besides turpentine?
I said the Himalayan salt. And I said also sea buckthorn or any of the omegas. You got to get the omegas. That's a fatty acid issue when it's actually lack of tendons. Okay, when it goes after the tendons and acidosis. Also, MSM is good for that. MSM, methylsulfony methane. MSM. So, but really, if you had to point and look at one thing that causes the main problem, it is the omegas. A deficiency in fatty acids. Got it? Deficiency in fatty acids is usually the cause. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Ringworm, Dr. Paul, in the head. What can it do?
Ringworms.
Yeah.
And this is probably children? Is this children having ringworms? Or
one is real young. It's 1 year old. And one is 10 years old.
Yeah, you have to.
That's my question. I put it in.
Yeah, ringworms. Actually, one thing that's really good for ringworms is, believe it or not, coconut oil.
Oh my God, I told her that.
You should have listened, Jennifer.
Yes, coconut oil. Coconut oil destroys ringworms.
Dr.
You can
Paul,
do.
That's me that asked that question.
Hey, Jennifer. What's up, Jennifer?
My grandkids, Dr. Paul, they got ringworm in their head. They went to the pediatrician. And the pediatrician gave them this medicine and then told my daughter-in-law that it will destroy all the organs. It could. It could destroy all the organs, right?
That's crazy.
My granddaughter is 1 year old. My grandson is 10 years old. My grandson been on this medication. He completed 1 round of 80 pills, and they just gave him another prescription for another 80. I told her, don't give that to them. I'm going to ask Dr. Paul tonight.
Yep, you can do a combination of 2 things. I would give them 2 things. A combination of, it would be the coconut oil, 100%.
Unrefined.
Unrefined, non-hydrogenated. Got it? Non-hydrogenated. And also neem oil. Neem, and then I would put a little lavender oil with that because that soothes. So that's the 3 things that I would use for that. Do it in a combination. Use a latex or non-latex glove, and apply it to the area. Always apply it with a glove. Do they have? Is it multiple? How much of the breakout is this?
So the baby just got it on the crown of her head.
Mm-hmm.
My grandson, he has it all over his head and all over his body.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know what I did? I was down, they live down south. The last time I went down there, I took coconut oil. It's funny you said that. And I mixed it with baking soda. And I put it on the body part.
Yep.
And then 5 days, it went away.
That's correct. That's correct.
But then it came back.
Yeah, because you have to treat. Remember, these are parasites now. These are worms. These are parasites. So parasites, you have to address it a little bit differently. Got it? So you have to destroy them. So you'll knock them down with the pH. The pH of the baking soda will raise the alkalinity, and it'll hold them for a while until they start to regenerate again. So you got to eliminate them totally. Now, believe it or not, you can take the eliminator formula that I have. You know, I have an eliminator formula. You know, it's the Dr. Paul's eliminator. And you can mix that into the coconut oil also, because that has all of the things that are destroying parasites. Got
and
it?
Where can you get that? Is that at Pollock Herbs?
You can get it at Pollock Herbs or Wayne Avenue.
Okay, Dr. Paul Eliminator.
It's called the Eliminator, and it has those things in it. So the ones that eliminate that, see, you got to be very subtle though with the children. Okay, use very small amounts. Use a predominant amount of the coconut oil, because you got to watch sensitivity. Their skin is very sensitive, but you also at the same time have to introduce it a little stronger every day. Got it? And you just keep applying it to the scalp. Now, things like black walnut. These are some of the things that you need to be aware of. Black walnut. Mm-hmm. Okay. Neem. Neem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You also have what's called wormwood. Wormwood. These are the herbs that are antiparasitic, and also cloves. Okay, so even if you have a little clove oil, there's many things that you can use, but I would start to introduce a little bit at a time. Always mix something of a lavender when you're dealing with children, because it soothes the skin.
So would it be better for me to just buy the eliminator and add that to coconut oil?
Yep, coconut oil and a little lavender. That's what I would do.
And a little lavender. Okay, coconut oil.
That'll knock it out. Yep, that'll knock it out. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Paul.
No problem, Jennifer. Good question, y'all. Good question. That's also the same thing for lice also. If anyone's experiencing lice, see a lot of the children. And also, Jennifer, one more thing. Got to keep them off the sugar. People wonder about, and the reason I say that is because anybody know why? This is the reason why some people say, you know what, every time I go outside, the mosquitoes tear me up. They tear me up. Why are the mosquitoes tearing me up every time? Well, guess what? You know what it is, Big B? It is absolutely the sugar.
Yeah.
It is the sugar. They smell that sugar on you.
You're just hot like that. See?
They smell the sugar, and it's coming out of your pores. You can't smell it. But the insects smell it, and it draws.
That's an interesting answer. See, little things like that are the things that either make you or break you.
That's right. And our children, they'll tear them up. Children tearing up the legs, and they say, oh, I can't take it, Mommy. I can't take it. Daddy, and it's the sugar. You're giving them too much sugar. And the sugar comes out of the pores eventually, because the liver's pushing it out of the pores, because they're also dehydrated. Right. And then that's when that smell allures insects. That's exactly it. Okay. So keep that in mind, family, all right?
Nail fungus.
Nail fungus would be, you got to go to things like cinnamon oil. Cinnamon oil, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, family. That would be cinnamon oil or oregano oil. Those two, or in combination, is a good combination. That destroys foot fungus or fungus around the nail area. And also, I would do a liver cleanse, because whenever you see your nails turning black or they turn dark, anybody ever have dark nails, or you see somebody with really dark nails, whether it's on, or you may have all, and then one area of the toe or the toenails or somewhere, there's one or two that are dark, or it can also be on your hand too. That's actually that's liver. You got to detox the liver. Got it? That's a liver detox. That's a blood issue. So when you start to take that, you can start to see the color come back to your nails. That's a blood issue. Here we go again. Back to the blood issues again. Got it?
Hey, Dr. Paul, I actually saw someone suggested to use something like Vicks on your toenails to get that back.
Well, they're talking about the eucalyptus. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay,
They're trying to say the eucalyptus is something that they can use. It just excites it. It's as an I wouldn't use that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that. Eucalyptus is good though. Eucalyptus has a fungal property, an antifungal property. So yes, it does. It can, but you want to go directly to the source that really makes it happen. Got it? All right. Let's see. I'm going to go up here to Helen. Helen, how you doing, Helen?
How are you doing, Dr. Paul? How you doing, Bill?
All right.
How's everyone tonight?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I just wanted to show you this. I don't know if I can show it to you. Can you see it?
No.
Nope.
Bring it closer to the screen. Bring it closer to your shirt. Yeah, go ahead. All the way back. Closer to your shirt. There you go. Straighten it out. If you straighten it out closer to your shirt, it's going to pick up anything closer.
There we go. Right there.
There you go. Right there.
Okay, this is a hash. It's like sunflower. It's like a substitute to meat. So if anybody wanted to use something like, like a meat alternative and they weren't doing meat, you can make burgers and stuff out of this here, which is really good.
And what is it called? I can't see the name of it.
It's called hash.
Hash?
Yes.
Okay, hash.
I can't see that. Can you spell that, please?
Okay, so it's Hache. Hache.
Hache?
Yeah, can you see now?
I think that may. I still can't see it. It's a little dark for me.
It's going to be hard to see with your background.
Because of the background.
Okay. So the next thing is, I did follow up with the doctor, the hand doctor, because I had the trigger finger. Well, it turns out that he says that it's arthritis, and he told me to take a leave, like two to three times a day, for the first day, and then the second it'll be like twice. So I said I wanted to wait for you first to let you know what he discovered when I went.
Right. You remember, hear what you said, hear exactly what he said. He's just backed up exactly what I mentioned earlier with the tendons, remember?
Right.
Arthritis, rheumatism, osteoporosis. It's the body attempting to heal itself. So I'm going to go to the only place that I can get the calcium to actually bring that back. Got it? I'm going to pull it from there. So they'll call it arthritis, but it's the body attempting to heal itself. See, we've never been taught that method of understanding. That's African science. That's what we know the principles of balance is, that the body's trying to correct itself. So I need to get calcium. If you're not feeding me food that has nutrients, I got to get it from somewhere. I'm going to grab it from the tendons. And then that's when it starts to get arthritic, starts to pull the moisture, starts to pull the energy out of that. Got it? Same thing if you see your hands. Everybody see your hands like this, right? Everybody look at your hands, right? You ever see one finger sort of leaning over to another finger? And you say, man, my finger, why my finger looking like that? It's just like leaning or it starts curving.
Looking like Dr. Spock.
You ever see like that? Looking like that? If you ever see that, we learn this in science, in our African science, or we say the science of African, Nile Valley civilization, that this is your one finger is grabbing energy from the next finger. You got it? That's why it's leaning that way. It's pulling the energy from the strong finger. Wow.
That's the same as the toes.
Same thing with the toes. That's right. Sometimes you got to watch the toes because that can be altered because of the shoes. Watch the shoes. You remember?
Very much so.
You know, remember where everybody wearing the pointy-toed shoes. You're going to get bunions. You're guaranteed to get bunions, y'all.
Trying to be cute.
Trying to be cute.
Can I ask Helen a question about the meat substitute? Who makes it and what is it made of?
Okay, so it's sunflower family. It's organic sunflower headed, and it's it has let's see what it's got in it. It says organic texture sunflower protein.
Sunflower protein. So that means it also, remember, where it grows has everything to tell you what it's good for also. Sunflower is good for, because it grabs a lot of rays of the sun, that means it's good for sunlight and issues of sunlight. And also that means skin. So it's good for skin production.
And it's organic too.
Yeah, and it's good. That's good. Very good. Very good.
So I have another question for you. And this next one is about like nerves and veins, like nerves and veins tightening. What is good for that? Like maybe like in your neck, you have like a tightening in your neck, your veins or something like that. And the last question is what's good for relaxation, or what do you do for relaxation, Dr. Paul?
Okay, so if you're talking about tightening of the neck, are you speaking muscular, or are you talking about the
like your muscles in your neck? Like your muscle.
Right. You would definitely start to use for muscle issues, heat always is good for that. Heat compress. Some people say, well, when do I use cold versus heat? You know, people say, well, when I use cold versus heat? Well, heat is for muscular issues. If you want to deaden serious pain, like if you have like a pinched nerve or something and you need to deaden that pain, that's when you put ice on it. That's when it becomes unbearable. You would use ice. But for your situation, I would definitely use heat compress, but also make sure your magnesium and your potassium is high. That's going to get the highest form for muscles, you know, when they start to get tightened and things like that. It has everything to do with deficiencies of potassium, magnesium.
Okay.
So make sure you're high on that. I would get it from green drinks, though. That's what I would get it from. Okay.
And my last question is, what do you do for relaxation, or what do you suggest to do for relaxation?
Well, I do a lot of prayer. I do a lot
Glory.
of prayer. Yeah. Glory. I do a lot of prayer, y'all. I'm constantly, I find time to just spend with the Father first thing in the morning.
Yes.
But also I get into a lot of when I try to sleep, I try to sleep with things that are, constantly giving me subliminal understanding while I'm sleeping. So I lose a lot of beat tones and things like that, frequency tones. One specifically that I use is 432. 432 frequency is what I use, and that helps to, there's a lot of 432 that's in music. They have now online. You can go to YouTube and download 528 frequencies. You can also remember 432 is the resonancy of the earth, the planet. They have all music right now at 440, right, which is a form of distortion. So that's why when you listen to music, it's kind of like, it kind of still bothers me a little bit.
Kind of grates on you.
But 432 is a frequency where all vibrations equal out and balance with you because it's with the earth. So that's why Michael Jackson and people like Prince and Michael Jackson did so well, because they tuned their music not to the industry standard of 440, but they moved it back to 432. And that's why their music has a different feel to it. It makes you feel happy. When you heard Michael Jackson, everybody couldn't wait to hear, Michael Jackson new song. Ooh, remember the time. Everybody was going crazy when that stuff came out, because you were really enjoyed and you had that energy because it had a different feel. It's like when Black and White came out. That's all 432. Listen to their music. I would challenge you after this Zoom call's over, listen to some of that Michael Jackson music. It's 432.
Call me right
but
now.
you can get online and listen to beat tones that are in 432 that are underlined with waves and guitar and You know, a lot of good stuff. So that stuff helps me. Also, I do music. I play music. So I play guitar, play a little piano, I sing. I have a music. Prior to me being a naturopath, I was a record producer. Wow. So I produced with. I was on Columbia Records when I was about 19 years old. I got signed. So that's been always my outlet, you know, for that. And I just try to go with whatever I feel at that time. You know, try to keep it different. Yep, keep it moving.
What was that frequency, Dr. Paul, please?
432. 432. There's also one 528. You know, we did a whole show on these frequencies, y'all. Do y'all remember this show? Oh, nobody remembers it. Never mind. Y'all
yes,
remember
we did.
Karam, do you remember this, Karam? Yeah. Karam's the only one got a memory today. Karam's the frequencies.
That must be before I joined the call.
No, not even.
I can't help you on this one.
Big B, come on, Big B.
Where do we find these at, Doc?
Oh man, I gotta do
Thank you so much, Dr. Paul.
Okay, thank you, Helen. You always get the good stuff. The
start last night.
All right, thank you so much.
I do relaxations the same way. I may read some scriptures or prayers, or you know, just pull up a nice book or something, or you know, talk to a friend or something.
Yeah,
or
sometimes
nice, you know.
Yeah, that's right. You know, sometimes it's just good to get quiet.
Ooh,
yes.
I'm real good at that one.
Sometimes you get, and some of y'all might be saying, you know what, I don't have no quiet around my house. Then get in your car. Your car. And then
nice
you know
bath. That's good.
and
nice
you know
bath.
what, nice bath, you know, get your headphones and everything. Another one that I love to do is I go to a park and I sit in my car, or if I you know, I take a walk and I'll sit in the grass, or I go somewhere. You know, these are the things that I used to do if I really have to get reset. Because sometimes you really got to get reset. Some people get on your last African American, you know, Cherokee, Igbo mind. You know, people get on your mind, and you got to get, you know, yourself reset. So that's what I do. I think it's, you know, prayer seems to work the best for me, though. It really works for me. And music, that's what it is. Yeah.
Or you go to the beach and you can look at the ocean, just the beach and the water.
Absolutely. And remember, you just brought up another thing, because when we talked about the frequency, see, Helen, so you just keep me going. I'm trying to get out of this conversation, but you're bringing up too much good stuff. Oh my God. When you stand in front of running water,
yes, buddy,
got it. You kick off these things called negative ions, which is alkalinity. Remember? What principle is that? Male or female? Quick.
Female.
Karam says it's female. Anybody riding with Karam? Is that Karam right? Karen right? Yeah. Karam going once. Karam going twice. Karam, ain't too many people responding right now. Who's riding with Karam? Is it is negative female principle?
It's female. There you go.
Well, ain't nobody raising their hand, Big man. We got to do a whole nother class on that one. Well, all right.
You better take a look, Dr. Paul. My hand is up.
Okay, Queen Flo, your hand's always up. You the queen. All right. Yes, it is the female principle. Karam, you're absolutely correct. And that means when you stand in front of running water, that's why people love to go to the beach. Because that negative ion is hitting you off the beach. Queen Flo, you right down there with all that Florida stuff. You just need to stand in the ground, in the sand, and just receive that. That's also where waterfalls come from. Waterfalls. That's also in, you know, you may have heard of what's called feng shui. You know what feng shui? Yes. Okay, feng shui is the Asian version of the African or original concept of energy, which is called par-unk. And that means that's the ability to understand energy and how energy flows. And when you do that and you stand in front of living, you know, water, that's why when you see some people have those little waterfalls in the front of their house, you ever walk in somebody's house and they got the little water that kind of recycles and keeps flowing? Do y'all know why they have that in front of their house? Do y'all know what that is? If you get a little water flowing in front of you, you also see that same thing in corporate America.
Yes,
when you
do.
go into
That
their
first
sort of
office.
like
Offices,
in their
yes.
offices and things, you got that. You know what that really means? That means that place has been feng shuied out or par-unked out, which means that they know that running water draws money. Uh-oh, everybody about to go get one now. Everybody about to go get one now. I'm putting one right in front of my house right now. It's right in you walk in the door. There's water running. That means money flowing into your house.
That's right.
Dr. Paul, can you please spell the African name of it again? Because I'm so glad.
Par-unk. Right, par-unk. P-E-R-A-N. Yeah, just like the unk. There's a book. There's a book. Yeah. Yeah, par-unk. A-N-K-H. There's a book that Dr. Africa has put together called Par-Unk. And you can buy that. If I can pull it up, I may try to see if I can get it. Dr. Africa pulled the book up, and that was part of our study, that we had to understand the energy and how symbols and everything carries a frequency, a vibration, and an energy. So when you arrange certain things in your house, it brings certain types of energy. That's why we say never put clutter. Get the clutter out of your corners. You got it? Bad energy stays in corners. Ooh. Ooh. Y'all about to start cleaning up tonight. Big B, they're going to go get some water in the front of their house, and they're going to be cleaning up till midnight tonight. Y'all looking around now going, man, I got a whole bunch of clothes downstairs. They've been down there about 2 weeks now, hanging on top of the treadmill. And
right there in the corners of my house is clean.
So that's all good stuff. You got me? So get in front of some water, running water. That's why waterfalls are good. People always breathtaking. That's why when you go up to like Canada, you see the Niagara Falls. That's why people is breathtaking. They say it's breathtaking. No, y'all getting that negative ion is kicking in there, and it's making you feel tremendous. Got it? Healing waters. Healing waters. That's what they call them. All right. All right, that was a long way. See, Helen, where Helen go? She left the building, didn't she?
She left the building. No, she's.
I'm here. Here I go.
Okay, I got you. See, you didn't start the stuff. See. All right,
Dr. Paul. Just so you know, that frequency class was on a Sunday afternoon.
That what now?
The frequency class that you did, the frequency was on a Sunday afternoon.
It was on a Sunday afternoon. Really? I did the frequency. So what date was that?
I don't know, but it was on WURD, not the family tree.
I did do it on here too. I thought I did. I'm sorry. Maybe I needed her. I'm sorry. I thought it was there. But we'll work on it. So give them the date. Can we repost that? Can we try to repost that? Somebody got to mute themselves. Somebody got to mute themselves. Can we possibly repost that? That was a good show. We did a good one because we talked about the frequencies and the vibrations, and I talked about the ones that calm you down and bring you.
Do you remember how long ago it was? Talk about maybe I can find it. I can post it.
Yeah. If Prophetess looks at, she can maybe post it.
Just send me an email if you find it. Let me know, and I'll post
it. Okay, got it. All right. Anyone in the chat, Big B? Anyone in the chat? Anyone in the chat?
No, not right now.
Okay, all right. Karam, you up next, buddy.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Also, Helen, you can get a massage chair. And ironically, Dr. Paul, I have one of those water things, but I'm going to put it in the back of the house. I was actually saying a few days ago, I need to hook that thing up because it's just sitting out but on the back patio. So.
Yeah.
So hopefully that money will flow through the back door.
No.
Front door.
Front door. Don't put it in the back door. You know. In America, they used to come into American homes, said, you can't build door in front and back. They face each other. Your blessings go in and they go out the back door. Well, that's why you never see their homes with doors facing doors. That's bad energy. Got it? Go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, my questions tonight is, I have two. One is alkaline water okay for a person who has had a kidney transplant?
Well, it depends on what kind of alkaline water you're speaking about. I would say no reverse osmosis alkaline water, only natural bottle at the source waters. That would be the only thing, because that has minerals that are balanced. You know, when you have the reverse osmosis, that would be like the real waters and the essential waters. I call them style waters because they're not based off of, they're based off of them doing a, reverse osmosing of just a form of distilling, and then they're taking all the minerals out, and then they're replenishing them with electrolytes, they call, but it's really cheap white salt. So that's unbalanced. Be careful with that. Remember the little girl that they shut down real water because the little girl had she had a kidney shutdown because of that, because they were sending imbalanced water numbers and the imbalance of the formula. So it has to be perfect every time. Leave that alone. I would leave it alone.
All right, so bottled at the source is good for those people.
Yep, that's God's water. Yep.
Okay, and secondly, friend notified me yesterday that her husband, his kidney lab results are a little off. What are recommendations? I went through the water situation. They have reverse osmosis, so they feel on that.
That's it right there. That's it.
So she said they're changing that ASAP. I sent them some of the videos, clips from the family tree, and highlighted what they should listen to. And then I started to mention green drink. I said, all right, let me stop there. And he just
I would first, anyone having any kidney issues, the second question I always ask is, are there any swelling in the ankles? Okay, swelling in the ankles. Usually the ankles are the first place that you can tell that, the kidneys are not pumping properly. And it's inflammation at the extremities. So that means the lymphatic system's not moving. We, as not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. That's where the dandelion teas come in. But you got to keep them off of the top 10 toxic foods. The refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, all those things. You got them on the right water. But it's concentration he has to stay off. Does he have any chronic conditions at all? High blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that?
That I don't know. I just received a call yesterday. I hadn't spoken to him in months, so I will inquire about here on the call and on the comments, but I don't see them.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, that's absolutely like a checkpoint. So you put them on point. You got to get the water right first. Remember also, a lot of the calcification. See, it's the proteins are building up in the urine. So now when the protein builds up in the urine, it's going to show up on the urinalysis. That's protein in the urine. And that means that you're now losing it. Because I shouldn't have to look in your urine and find the protein. That's when you pee, you'll see foam. If you're peeing and you see foam in the toilet when it's foaming up a lot. Guys, watch out for this. Okay? That means that you're losing proteins. That's usually too much concentration. Watch the top 10 toxic foods: refined sugar, refined salt, refined oil. Watch the alcohol, the beer, the wine, things like that. That stuff is actually starting to calcify in your kidneys and can cause stones, things like that. But also that's dehydration, serious dehydration. And also the lack and presence of magnesium. See, magnesium, any calcification, or if anybody says there's stones that are building up, that means that's left over from not having enough magnesium to break it down. Remember, magnesium is used to introduce calcium into the body. But if there's no presence of magnesium, which means you're not eating greens, you're not eating anything that's alive, and therefore that's leftover debris. Calcifies, gets hard like a rock. Got it? That's almost what's happening with trigger finger also. That's also kind of like the same thing. It's pulling it from that area, starting to calcify a little bit. I had a guy, one of the Negro League ball players, friend of mine, he just passed on, but he had a finger that was stuck like this. He couldn't move it. That means it was stuck like this. It was hard like a rock, and he couldn't bend it at all. And some people experience small variations of that when they can't move their fingers. They get tight. That has everything to do with calcification. Stay off that apple cider vinegar, y'all. apple cider vinegar. That stuff is going to grab it from you. Got it? No fermentation. So that's why the checklist is what I would give them, Karen.
Okay, and then something else just popped in my mind real quick. You covered something previously about lemon and water.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you speak to folks and you get a headache and you go, okay, and I just go, okay. So I was told, it's so frustrating. But I was told, well, I make my own alkaline water. I use lemon and water and this, that, and that, and whatnot. So I just figured I'd ask you about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people make their own lemon water, but the key is what kind of lemon are you using? Is it a you remember? No conventionals. Got it? Sprays that they're not aware of. And I understand it. People are just trying to be normal people, and people are not scientists, and they know we are not scientists. All of us are not scientists. So we're doing the best we can do, and we trust the system that provides our food. But you have to, if you're living in America, be aware that they are highly contaminating everything. And that's what that chlorpyrifos and the glyphosates and the atrazines and all that other stuff that they're doing is getting on the food. So if you're taking a lemon and putting it in tap water, was it tap water, regular tap water?
I'm going to assume it was because they said that they could not use Crystal Geyser. They cannot remember why, and blah blah blah. So I'd say,
hey, well, that's where their limit to their understanding is. See, it's my children shall perish for lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You got it? And then some people will perish because they just don't want to change. And other people perish because, it means that lifestyles have to be anew. And you got to do something, or it pulls you away from the things that you love. And you think that you're giving away something, but you're actually gaining life by knowing, because you're extending your life. Eating is emotional. It is a reward system. It's where we break bread and mend countries and stop wars and, create bonds. So people, when they do that, they're connecting that food to a good time. So if you're going over grandma and them house every Sunday, and Big Mama and them house had what? Fried chicken and macaroni and sweet potatoes and all that food that even the apple pies and the sweet potato pies, and the sweet potato pie so good. Yep, sweet potato pie so good you got to kick your shoes off just so you can wiggle your toes. That's all. That's how good it is. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that by pulling off of it you can no longer have it, and that when you pull that, it pulls you away from, does it mean that I have to give up grandma's food? Now, grandma loved me. You see what I'm saying? So it's emotional. So some people have a problem with that. So Karen, you just give them as much information as you can, and you just let that go and let them build on their own understanding. Got it?
Got it.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Appreciate it, man. Good question, man. Good question. All right, Big B, you got anything?
Hot flashes, Dr. Paul.
Okay, hot flashes, yes.
Yes, sir. Any herbs for hot flashes?
Hot flashes goes back to liver again. That's liver for women. Any age? Did they put an age on there?
No, didn't give an age.
Okay, so I assume that it's probably going in menopause situation. Okay, so just assuming unless they can comment real quickly, that is something that deals with endocrine system balance, hormones. So when that happens, you got to start to look at the liver. We start to cleanse the liver again.
Because it's a 50-year-old woman.
What was that?
It's a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah. Usually, see what's happening is the body's preparing to not make estrogen now. See, now if you're not making children, the body says, all right, well, we're not making children no more, so we don't have to make this estrogen. So now the body's sort of balancing itself between the progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen to now that I'm not creating now more estrogen. I got to get used to this. So that's where the flashes sometimes happen. But it's also watching the meats. Try not to eat meat during the time of your cycle. Got it, ladies? And that means that usually 2 to 3 days before, during, and after. 2 days before, during, and after the cycle, try to stay away from the meats. It's the hormones that are in a lot of things like the meats, the turkey, the chicken, the beef, the pork. It's what they're putting in. And those hormones clash with your hormones. You're going to have a hormone storm. You got it? So that's why you want to sort of stay away from meat during those cycles. Now, some women say, well, wait a minute, I haven't cycled in years. You have not physically cycled, but you are still cycling. You never stop cycling. Y'all heard that? Did y'all hear that? Woo, boy, it got quiet on here, Bill, boy. Woo, it got quiet on here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm about to hear a pin drop.
You're gonna get mad.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It just means that the cycles are moving just as you are. Remember, we're cyclical beings. That means everything goes in cycle. Men have cycles too.
I'm just getting ready to say that. Don't
see, y'all think that men don't have cycles. Men got cycles too, and men cycles.
And they act like it too.
Woo!
And cricket, they get crazy during that cycle. We know what it's all about.
I have a lot of, when I go to the women's class, I say, you know, men got cycles. She said, Dr. Paul, you ain't got to tell us. We already know that. But I want you to understand, cycles are part of your life, and we all go through cycles. Whether physically you're going through it, you're still cycling. So, ladies, after you're past that point of physically cycling, you are still cycling. So that means that that cyclical wheel is still going. You're just not physically, but emotions and also the hormones, which is your endocrine system, is still functioning. Got it? So that's where we use, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent disease, just food for the soul. Things like black cohosh.
Yes.
Got it? Things like Dan Quay. That's also called angelica root. Okay, that's also where blessed thistle comes from. Blessed thistle. The red raspberry. These are all women's hormonal herbs, and these are giving you the cumulative effect that balance you out. Got it?
Dr. Paul, is there a concern?
Follow-up question to that, Dr. Paul.
The cycle.
Okay, wait a minute. What was the first question? Queen of Davis Fire?
Yeah, is there a concern of clotting when you're on your cycle, whether it's a regular cycle or a cycle after you've been, during the menopause season?
Okay, say that one more time. You blanked out on me. I'm sorry.
Is there a concern when you are clotting during your cycle, whether it's a regular cycle or clotting after you receive a period after not having one for a while?
Yeah, if you have, right, that's a sign. That's definitely a sign of detox. You got to get it moving. The clotting can be a cycle, can be a form of a blockage. Usually you got to look at bowel movements at that time. You got to look at your cycle of rhythm with digestion. Okay, so make sure that once you eat, you must eliminate. Got it? At the same time. Usually when you start to see blood clots and things coming out, you're detoxing. You're still detoxing. And it may be spotting and things like that are going on. That's all part of the body trying to get rid of. You have to help the body. So start to do things like increase your water. Got it? Stay off the meats. Got it? Get you a herb or herb tea that you can flow with, that is actually something you can take every evening. Got it? Or actually around the last time that you eat dinner, right after dinner. Got it? Any of those herbs I just gave out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. So blessed thistle was the last one. Did I give out let's see, there was another one.
Elderberry.
Elderberry is good too. Yes, elderberry is
it's already
good.
in the chat box.
Okay, thank you. She already knew that. All right. I promise you getting too smart over there. All right. All right.
Now there was a follow-up question to the. There was a follow-up question to the hot flash question.
The follow-up question. What was the question?
Yeah, it was. She's also taking the black seed bitters for her high blood pressure. Could she continue that if she is dealing with the hot flashes?
Well, remember, I can only be in general. I don't know her specific situation.
Yeah.
Whenever you have hot flashes, that's dehydration. Got it? You got to get that hydration. See, if you're taking something like black seed bitters, the oils, specifically the oils, it's going to go directly. That's a liver cleanse. All right? That's cleansing the liver. That's cleaning the blood. So with that, you have to start doing more than just taking the herb. See, most people are not understanding. They're taking the herb thinking that that's all you got to do is take the herb. You take the herb, you better be drinking water. Got it? Because the herbs is going to demand more water. That's what they do. Whenever the perfect sign of that is when you start to feel, you take an herb and then you start to feel nauseous or headachy. That's the body telling you you're not drinking enough water. You need to stop all herbs, drink water until that feeling goes away. Got it? It's usually hydration every time. That's what it usually is. Okay? So that will help. I would definitely, those herbs that I just gave, I would probably use one of those as compared to the black seed. Okay? And more people are, I put it on the top 10 list over there. Or not the top 10 list, but the 75 plus list.
Yes.
75 plus list. I put on there black seed bitter tonic.
Yes.
Okay, the tonic. People forget there is a tonic out there, which is more, I believe, more effective than dealing with just the black seed bitters. Because the tonic is a combination of land and sea. So they got land herbs and sea vegetables along with that. So that's why it's a more effective for cleaning the body. You remember, those tonics work better because it's more combinations. Got it? Just like the wood root tonic. You remember I talked about the wood root tonic, which is the Cameroons? That's an excellent one for a lot of people who have issues with trying to get the right nutrients and antioxidant at the same time. So that's what I would do, Cheryl, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, who we have here, Big B? It's going down the line. I want to go over the list real quick. Can I throw the list up here so those who have not looked at this list, and I want to break this list down because this list, I believe, is a lifesaver. And the list is a list that I just, after I got in there, Big B, I kept going. I couldn't stop. It was like I was in a car and couldn't.
When I finally got the list, I said, he woke up.
I couldn't put the brakes on.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm going to look at this list. For those who did not hear, let me know when you see it.
Yep,
okay?
It's there.
It's there. Okay, so here is the traditional. I call it the traditional blood cleansing herbs because traditionally I want to make sure that we make sure we position this correctly. That this is cultural. So that means there's a lot of history with this. That means these herbs have been around for billions of years, and they cross-reference each other. So when you see one herb, it may be a burdock root or even just something as simple as parsley. This stuff has a family that goes back billions of years since the inception of the planet itself. So they cross over and they actually have the ability to communicate. There's a document and book called The Wonderful and Miraculous World of Plants Life. I think it's the most, I forget, I gotta look at the name of that again. The Wonderful World of Plants. And it talks about how they have character. They have personalities. They have the ability to speak. Yeah. And that's when they have the ability to share information. And they're constantly evolving with the atmosphere and the earth itself. So that's why this works and something like a vaccine can't. Woo.
See, you gonna start no stuff?
Woo, I better be quiet now. All right. But that's why these things, so if I look at here and I look at a parsley, and I look at a burdock root, a chaparral, pau d'arco, red clover, that family alone, blood cleanser. These are the ones that clean the blood, clean the body. And that means the body has ability to now function at its optimum and prime. So what you have to do is start to now look at all of the different ones that are on here. Bloodroot, black seed bitters. Remember, we just talked about black seed bitters, but I'm going to tell you, don't forget about the tonics. Cape aloes, cleavers, Indian hemp, garlic, onion, black root, dandelions, sarsaparilla, sea moss, kelp, chlorella, purple dull seaweed, zinc, humic acid, fulvic acid, MSM, coral calcium, cinchona. Cinchona is where the quinine is coming from. Quinine is what the number one thing that they're fighting with COVID-19 right now. Got it? Olive leaf and hyssop. You've heard the expression with the body, talks about the scripture that says purge the body with hyssop. Woodroot tonic, bissavera from the bissy plant, frankincense and myrrh, yellow dock, ginger, ginseng, cheney root, golden seal root, mullein, osha root, gotu kola, asnea, that's the old man's beard right there, black elderberry. That's what is good for sugar control issues. If you have sugar control issues, black elderberry. That's what we give a lot of the children for support for viral infections and stomach viruses for children. Neem, moringa, oregano, lysine. That's an amino acid. Glutathione, alpha lipoic acid, hibiscus. Did you know hibiscus is a blood cleanser? Wow. A lot of people have a lot of hibiscus going on. Cherry bark, that would be the old Indian cherry bark syrup. Cat's claw, strongback, sage, vitamin C, A, D, B12, turmeric, CoQ10, alfalfa, milk thistle, mugwort, that's the Artemisia. Remember the Artemisia in Tanzania that's going on. Mahogany bark, that's the bark of a mahogany tree. And that is the most thing that cleanses blood amazingly. Goldenrod, chicory, germanium, calendula, comfrey, echinacea, horsetail, indigo, nettle, white oak bark, pygeum, African bird pepper, and wormwood. Give yourselves a hand, y'all. That is your list right there. Give your hands. And now here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at this whole list, and don't get confused. All right, family? Come on, somebody mute yourself out. Mute yourself out. Mute yourself out. See this whole list? I want you to understand. Use this with not just wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but more with wisdom. It doesn't mean you got to take every one. Doesn't mean you got to get everyone that's on here. My goal for you, pick one and work with that herb. You got it? It's already got 1 billion years worth of information already packed into that herb. So you just work with one of them. Work with one. Pick one. That's all you got to do. You got it? If you pick one, you can't go wrong. And that one is what's going to help to purge out poisons, bacteria, virus, all of this stuff. Got me? Because when you clean the blood, you clean the body. Got it?
Now, I'm glad you said that, Dr. Paul, because I was interested. It was interesting to see some of the names on here I never heard of, but and particularly I looked up strongback, and you remember the old folks used to say back in the day, you know, I need a young man with a strong back.
How you think he got that strong back?
And then it said that it's good for people that's dealing with muscle aches and stuff like that, muscle problems, weak muscles in the back, and men who are impotent.
You got it.
So that was very interesting. And so also the red clover said it's really good for women who are dealing with, well, it's good for a lot of things, but in particularly one stood out to me, dealing with hormonal problems, because it helps to mimic estrogen. That's so right. I understand what you're saying when come down to picking one. So would you say like probably want to look them up and pick one that has the attribute that will work with your unique situation?
That is correct. Or you
have
can
some different properties.
Absolutely. And you would also, or if you have a healthcare professional where you are that gives you an assessment, you can go in and there's each one, remember, has a character, has a personality based on what someone may be going through. That's why the good Lord gave us so many different variations of different herbs, because different people have different things going on. So, like I said, they cross over. So something like red clover, perfect example. Let's use that one. It has the ability not only to clean the blood, but it's going to deal with hormonal issues at the same time. And and then additional to that, it's a cancer fighter. Goes directly after the cancer. Every study that was ever done with this in universities showed how when red clover went into the body, it was a cancer scavenger. It went after the cancer. Sort of went in the body and said, "Where is he, Big B? Go show me where he is. Go ahead. I'm going after him right now. Show me where the boy is. Where is he?" Goes after. And that's why we say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. You're giving the body what it needs to actually help the process for balance. And that's what the whole concept of naturopathy is all about. So yes, absolutely, you're spot on. So I would say definitely get a recommendation, based on what your situation is, and we bring up the perfect herb for you. Sunshine, could you mute yourself? Okay. And good question though. Good question. So I would say if there's anyone having any work with the herb. You start with, how we used to do, grandmom and them used to say, take the herb, steep it in some hot water, 3 to 5 minutes. That's how you start off. And you do it twice a day. First thing in the morning and just before your last meal, or after your last meal at night. That's what you do. That's how they do it. So that's a form of introducing yourself to a team. Got it? Okay.
So how do you take your I've taken the colon cleanse, but it's not really working. I do suffer with the constipation bad, but I've taken 3. Like, how many can I take if it's not working?
Well, remember, it depends on how you're taking it. Okay, that would be my question. Number 1, you got to get your water right? Right. Okay, how's your water?
I don't drink a lot of water, but when I took the pill, I did try to drink extra water.
It's not going to work. Remember, it's not going to work. Remember, your water has to be spot on. See, what's happening is dehydration is the biggest problem. That's the activator. So when the body is going after and you're taking a pill trying to move the digestive system, it can't work unless there's, it can go in and bind to that stuff, to the bacteria and the virus or fungus or whatever's going on. It's going to bind to it. It's going to go after it. But now you have to complete the process. The process means that you got to flush me out. So that's where the water comes in, and the right water. That's why the water is the activator. So it's not going to work unless that water is spot on. Got it?
Okay. So is there an amount that is just too much to take? Like, is 5 too much to take? Or...
Well, right now, I would say your situation doesn't have anything to do with the amount. You can just take right now. Are you taking a green drink, by the way, at all?
Yeah, I took that too, and that's where my because I was kind of confused because I didn't really have directions.
Okay.
I take that? Do I take that first thing in the morning when I get up, or 3 times a day, or?
Right. That is your multivitamin. That is a meal replacement. Okay, so the green drink is like a meal replacement. That's because they said in 1947 the food doesn't have 47% of its nutrients. Eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a ritual and ceremony. Everybody's malnutrition. That's why we do that. And that means that it's bioavailable, so you don't have to struggle with trying to absorb that. Centrum and all those hard vitamins and stuff, people are looking in their stool and they find them because they're not breaking down. That's why you need something bioavailable. Got it?
So how many times I just take that?
3 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons, 12 ounces of juice or water or both, 50-50. and you do it 3 times a day. In your situation, because you're constipated, yep, you would do it 3 times a day.
3 times.
Got it? And that's the best of the land and the sea. Now we're putting more energy, hydrogen energy in your gut, right? Now stuff has got to move. You got it?
Okay.
It's got to move now. See, the whole purpose of where constipation comes from, because there's no energy in the gut. Everything's drying out. You're dehydrated. And there's no energy there. So everything has no choice but to just sit there, and it's going to start to putrefy. So that's why we got to get it moving. Also, you got to eat in cycles. Make sure you're not eating out of cycle. Remember, no meat in the morning.
That's what I said. Though, what should I eat in the morning when I get up?
You can have anything like fruits, anything in the cleansing cycle. Go to my website, download what's called the circadian rhythm. Have you been in for an assessment yet?
No, I have an appointment. I think
okay, you need
September.
Yeah, you need to get on the cancellation list. And once you get in, make sure we'll get you on point, because there's a lot of things you got to get in balance. Once you get in balance, you'll know your rhythm. But you got to put life in the gut. Remember, only life begets life. So once you start to put the life in there, and then you take the green drink as a regular regimen, this is where you stay, right here. Can you see me? Right here. You stay steady. Therefore, now the energy is maximized. Now you start to take the colon cleanse, and that's going to move the whole system. No meat in the morning. No bacon, sausage, things like that.
No, I don't eat that much meat, but it's like in the morning, the breakfast, I'm just really confused as to what to eat, because I was on your show before, and you did say that we shouldn't eat the oatmeal and stuff, because I was eating that. Right. So now I'm confused as to what to eat.
Anything cleansing. That's a cleansing cycle. 4 a.m. to 12 noon is your cleansing cycle. So anything cleansing, you can do brand cereals. You can do any of those. Make sure they're non-GMO. Got it? You can do fruit in the morning. Fruit.
Even tossed salad. Can't you do a tossed salad?
Yes, you can. You can do tossed salad in the morning. That's correct. Remember, fruit in the morning, because fruit stimulates. Vegetables in the afternoon and evening, because they stabilize.
Okay, and that's on your list. That's a circadian rhythm. That's on your list.
Circadian rhythm, right. And then also go to the website, download also the acid alkaline food chart. Stay on the alkaline side. Stay away from those things that are acid. And definitely, you got to watch out for the top 10 toxic foods. Got it? Okay. So that's like a protocol we have with just looking at certain things you got to watch out for, because soon as you put the energy in your body, you're either. It's not saying that everybody you're not deficient anymore, because you're doing something. You become insufficient. You're not doing enough, and at the right time. You got it?
Okay. And another question with the herbs now, like I have magnesium here, and I have Pardioko.
Mm-hmm.
Pardioko and your herbs. Now, is it a problem with taking them all at the same time, or is it a certain time?
Well, that's where you would have to come in for an assessment. We have to do an assessment before we can recommend anything on that. We're just speaking in general right now. We're just speaking in general. In general, usually magnesium. Remember, magnesium is energy, so that's going to move. That's why people use it for digestion system. That's why people used to take Epsom salts. Y'all remember Epsom salts, right?
Yes.
Y'all remember the kind that it wasn't just for, taking baths. People used to take a little bit of the Epsom salts in their hot water, and you would use it to evacuate your intestines. Got it? Did y'all know that? Did anybody know that?
I heard that. Well, I did hear that.
Yeah, that's we call that the emergency break glass.
Well.
When you absolutely cannot go. You cannot go. Take you a little bit. It's got to be the Epsom salts, because nowadays they have the Epsom salts where you cannot take it. They tell you not to take it internally. There is some that if you go to the drugstore, they can give you the one, or an herbal store, and get the one that you put in hot water. And you as a laxative. It moves the system, because that's magnesium. That's pure magnesium. That's energy. It moves stuff, gets it out of there, starts evacuating. So we call that the emergency break glass. If you haven't gone for 3-4 days or a week or whatever, Take the Epsom salts, you know, with caution, and put your sneaks on.
Well, that's so very true.
All right, so hopefully, Jackie, that helps you a little bit until I see you.
Yes.
Okay.
You helped me a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Dr.
All right,
what can anyone take to lower FSH, LH, and estrogen hormones?
Yeah, again, we're going back to the same herbs. All those are, yes, you got to give her the list. Can you give, if you go back to the list, though, because I don't want to keep repeating myself.
I get you. Okay.
All of the hormonal, anything dealing with endocrine system, that list I just gave, the black cohosh, and jelly root, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, just food for the soul family. We got to take those herbs. That's the rotation, and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You got to make sure. See, this is a perfect system created by a genius. But we've been taught to that one thing, you know, there's a drug for everything. You got it? It doesn't work like that. The body works systemically. So really, it's the vicious cycle is based off of really just one problem. You got one problem that's causing other things to go out of balance. You got it? So you really just got one problem. You know, it's either coming down to some kind of imbalance, and that imbalance is, we can look at it and say it really comes down to malnutrition. How about that? Because the body knows everything. It built you. It created you. So now it doesn't need anything other than the support of you giving it the proper amount of energy, so it can turn those healing keys to turn you back on. You got it? But it needs the support. So you got to give the body what it needs. That's why it's a holistic lifestyle. Exercise. You got to get some fresh air. You know, we ain't nothing but walking plants, y'all. Y'all know that, right? We ain't nothing but walking plants. We just got the ability to walk around. Plants looking at us say, see, y'all make me mad. See, I can't even move.
See, not even my accident. One last
All right.
Dr. Paul, to add to your, this is Nadine, to add to the magnesium, to add to your point, there was a study done, and they can find it on the EpsomSaltCouncil.com, where they did a study with autistic children, and they showed how much Epsom salt actually helps. Not only to, if you soak for 20 minutes, it goes immediately through your bloodstream within 20 minutes. It helped these autistic children stop the repetitive movements that they're known for doing. And it helped to calm and relax them. Because Epsom salt is one of the quickest ways to raise your magnesium levels back up.
Yep, that's correct.
And remove inflammation from your body. You'll be amazed if you ever have any kind of pain, or from working out, or just, you know, lifestyle repetitiveness. You take an Epsom salt soak. You don't have to do a whole bath if you can't do it. You can just soak your feet in it, because it goes directly up. It uptakes in your feet, goes to your bloodstream in 20 minutes. You'll feel like a newborn baby the next day. I promise you, because your magnesium levels are back up to optimum levels. Okay. Yeah. But this study, the autistic kids, they said, the parents said the autistic kids, those who couldn't talk, would go grab the Epsom salt bag and bring it to the parent, like you got to do this again, because it felt so good. They calmed down. They wasn't doing those repetitive movements, and they were much more at peace.
Yes, and that's what exactly magnesium does. Remember, magnesium doesn't have a center ion that needs oxygen to burn. You got it? That's the reason why. That's like, you ever see anyone like they take the rigs, they're underneath those oil rigs way out in the ocean, and you see them underwater, and they're working underneath the water with fire. You're like, wait a minute, how are they burning fire underwater? Magnesium tip torches.
Yes.
That's what it's called. So that means magnesium doesn't need oxygen to burn. So that means it's the door opener for all minerals, specifically calcium. And then it's also a calmative, so it calms the central nervous system. That was the key to the Industrial Revolution. When we were building America, when you came back from the old 9 to 5, working in the steel mills and the sweater factories all day and moving lumber and all that, what did you go home and do? You took a what? Epsom salts bath, because it replenishes the muscles which need magnesium. And that's what calms the children down. When they calm down, they're moving too erratic because, number one, they're malnutrition. And therefore, if you have magnesium, perfect way to settle the system. Now, I'm going to take it one more step there, Nadine. If you take something like the Himalayan salt, you even got a better dynamic. You get an even better dynamic. I would love to see them do a study on the children with the Himalayan salt, because that's what we give children. For years, we've given children who have had attention deficit disorders, have erratic issues, can't sit still. We add a little Himalayan salt with a little lavender oil or rosemary oil. Those are the ones that we use. And that calms them down. Something like, I don't even feel like jumping on stuff no more. You know what? I'm just going to bed. They relax. They relax crazy. So, yes, all that stuff is good. Epsom salts, you know, magnesium is powerful. You can also add magnesium to your plants. You know, when you see a plant dying, if you see a plant dying around your area right now because of all of this water, this heat outside, and you see the browning of the leaves under the bottom, that means the plant's losing magnesium. So it says send the extra energy to the top of the plant so the younglings to survive. Since we're dying, send the rest to the top. So if you take that plant and you add some Epsom salts to it, put it around the base of the root, that green will come back to that plant again. Yep. That is to make it. Yep. That will make your plants come alive.
Would an Epsom salt bath be good for sciatic nerve issues?
Sciatic nerve issue is more, you have to make sure there's not a structural issue first. You got to start there first, because if you have bone touching nerve, there's nothing going to correct that. You have a structural issue. That means the back is probably weak, but also you got to strengthen the back. Make sure there's no disc. If you have a disc, a disc issue where that disc is touching the nerve, that's touching nerve, that's going to cause a cutting of the signal, oxygen, and nutrients to your organ, because every nerve in your back is connected to an organ in your body. So you just have to make sure there's no structural issue first. Now, once you're structurally sound, then you know that if you're still having pain down that leg, that's what you're eating. Okay? That means that there's too much acid-forming foods, which is causing inflammation. Got it? Oh, good questions, y'all. Y'all got some good ones tonight, Bill.
Yes,
they got some good ones. They bringing it tonight. They bringing it tonight.
Yes,
one more thing, Dr. Paul.
Question for you, Dr. Paul.
8:56.
8:50. Oh,
okay.
It's late.
Yes, it is.
Yes, she's getting ready to get on.
Dr. Paul, I have a question.
Okay.
One
okay.
question.
Let
I've
me
been waiting
grab.
for almost 30 minutes.
Oh, who is that? Who is that?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Okay, Sunshine. Real quickly. Go ahead.
The question is on your list, but I saw this. I heard you Sunday. I would like to know. I bought some dandelion greens, I guess you call it, fresh dandelion greens. And you have dandelion on your list. Is that powder form? And the difference between the two, is it good to eat raw, or can you cook them?
Yeah, I would try not to cook them as much, okay? You can boil them. You know, you can actually use them as your greens, add it to your greens. Dandelion root is what was on the list. And the dandelion root is usually the herb that you can take. Every part of the dandelion is used. That's the stems, the root, the leaves, even the flowers. So you can use every part of it to steep it to make a tea that's good for the liver, the kidneys. Also, it cleanses and gets the lymphatic system moving. And then remember, when it pulls the water off the legs, what is it doing? When you pull water off your body anywhere, remember, there's a lot of energy in there. So usually the leg gets weak or the knee gets weak, wherever the water is. But now the dandelion puts the potassium back into the leg to regenerate the leg. That's a powerful piece. So yes, every part of the dandelion, you cannot go wrong. Okay? But the strongest part though would be the root. God, it's always going to be the root. Okay?
So I bought it fresh, and I cleaned them with the Himalayan salt, chop them up, and put them in a jar with just plain water.
That's it. You steep them.
Is that good?
You steep them 3 to 5 minutes.
Steep them.
Yep, steep them in
I
hot
didn't
water.
Put any boiled water. It's just okay.
You put them in boiled water. You'll see people out there. You'll see a lot of people out there collecting them. You know, out in the fields. You know, collecting dandelion. You know, people don't. You know, people have targeted as a weed. It's not a weed. That is far from a weed. If that thing has the energy to grow up between concrete in your back of your, you know, your driveway, that thing has got power. That ain't supposed to happen. Correct. But that's how powerful that is. Got it?
That's exactly right.
That's awesome.
Right.
So,
thank you so much.
Sunshine, yeah, hopefully that helps you out, okay? All right. We got, is that Devin? I have Devin Simpson. I see her right in front of me there. Is that Devin?
Yes, it's Devin's wife, Regina.
Hey, Devin's wife. How you doing, Devin's wife? What's Devin's wife's name?
Regina.
Virginia, how you doing, Virginia?
I'm fine, thanks. Hello, everybody. I just wanted you to clarify. You said I have a plant that I want the green to come back in it. And you said something about, is it the Himalayan salt to put around it, or it is the Epsom salt?
That would be Epsom salts, yes. Yeah, because it's magnesium. You see, what makes the plant green, and I learned this from actually I learned this at one of the flower shows. And one of the exhibitors that were there, she said, you know what? People don't realize what makes and wins the awards for the flower shows. She said what wins the awards is that the green accents the flowers. So the darker the green, which is magnesium, the flower pops out more with more color. So if you add more magnesium to your plants and you get them greener, your plants are going to come alive even stronger, and it's going to make them pop because it's darker green. And she said that's what you would do. Put the Epsom salts and lay it around the roots of that, and it'll bring it back. Good tip, y'all. Y'all going to have some nice looking plants. And make sure they're getting plenty of water, y'all. Please make sure you're watering the lawn. It's scorching out there, and make sure you're doing that. Okay.
How much Epsom salt in the bath?
How much Epsom salt? I
usually
start with about a quarter of a cup. Somewhere about a quarter of a cup. Yeah, start with like a quarter of a cup in there, and just soak for about 30 minutes. Get it as hot as you can take it.
Great.
That's what you do. Yep. That and remember, Himalayan salt has about 84 to 90 minerals in that salt. That is a powerful, powerful bath. They tell you, you're going to get in, and you're going to feel stronger getting out than you did when you got in, Big B.
Well, no, that's right.
So also, let me give you this for those that work out. All right, for those that work out, Himalayan salt. When you take a pinch of that and put it in your crystal geyser, because I know that's your favorite water, right? You put a pinch of that in your water, pre, during, and post workout, and guess what? It reduces lactic acid buildup, so you ain't sore tomorrow morning. Ooh! Wow. Ooh, see there now, everybody running to that. They running to it, Bill. They running to it.
Dr. Paul, when you're saying Himalayan salt, are you talking about the pink Himalayan salt?
Yes, that is it. Pink Himalayan salt. That's it. You know what? I'm gonna go to the Bible on y'all just before we get off here because it's getting late. When you look at Himalayan salt, it's found in the Himalayan mountains of Nepal, which is what? Mount Everest, right? And if you look at the Mount Everest where they find the pink Himalayan salt, that's from the ancient ore of the mountains that sat for billions of years, and it sat so long that it turned pink because that's ancient iron. That's iron, that's ore, ancient ore. But when they started pulling it out, they started pulling out seashells. They were like, wait a minute. We all the way up at the Himalayan mountains, Big B, and we pulling out seashells. What we doing pulling out seashells out of the Himalayan mountain? Ain't no water up here.
Well,
wow, that kind of goes back to a full flood of the planet. That kind of proves the point, doesn't it? That at one time, this planet was full of water. Goes back to the Noah. All right, y'all. I'm going to leave y'all with that one. That's it.
All right.
All right.
Dr. Paul, you got black Himalayan salt too.
Yep, you got black Himalayan salt too. Absolutely. You have the black salt that comes from, remember, it comes from a lot of the mountainous areas, like the Hawaiian black salt. Same thing. Comes from the mountains. Got it? That's where the fulvic acid also comes from. Fulvic acid. That's not folic, but fulvic. Fulvic. That's where that comes from. The molten cooling of the planet. When that molten lava comes down, that's the fulvic acid. So you take a little fulvic acid in a little liquid form, and it's on our list. It's on our blood cleaner list. You add that to your green drink, and it's a catalyst. Actually moves the energy, moves the digestive system, and declots the body. Okay, declots and cleans the body.
Wow.
Yep. All right, y'all, we got to go, y'all. I got so many people I did not get to. I'm so sorry if we did not get to you. Like me. Oh, Providence, I'm sorry. Did you hear that, Big B? I better get to Providence. She gonna get me. No, you had a question. Go ahead. I'm gonna get you before you go. Go ahead.
No, it's a very involved question. That's why you said we would discuss it. And I had all my blind people come tonight, but we will talk later.
No. Go.
No, I have to go to my other class, which I'm always.
She got another class.
Oh, she got another class.
That's
It'll be first next week.
She said I got my fingers to move somewhere else for y'all, because y'all done broke my fingers off now, but I got somewhere else to be. All right, thank you, family. All right, family. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. It has been great. Did you learn anything, y'all? Did y'all learn anything today? Clap if you got anything out of it today.
It was full.
All right. That's what the family does. The family comes together and you work out the questions, and your greatest way of learning is quickly amongst each other. That's the one-room schoolhouse. That's what this is. This is a one-room schoolhouse. And they knew that this method of one-room schoolhouse was a social security. That's what it was. It was a way that you learn so fast. They say, oh, they were learning too fast. We got to break it up. Let's put the 4th, 5th, and the 6-year-olds in. We're going to put them all in the same grade because they can't keep learning because they're learning too fast. Got it?
Yes,
so now just understand that this is the best way of doing it. Make sure that you take this information and share it with somebody. Big B.
Yeah, man.
Give us the information as we close out. All right,
quick, guys. Look, we appreciate so much that you continue to do to support us, and the best way to do that is we put it back into the program each week. Make sure you send out all your support and all that information out to using Dr. Paul's app, and that's the $ Dr. Paul Hop. That's DrPaulHop, and that's $ capital D. capital Paul, capital HOP. Listen, keep it coming, and we'll keep it coming back to you. Support, and bring them, because that's what
all right. And thank you, Big B. Yes, and remember, family, the reason why we do this entire program has everything to do with, we take those, and that doesn't go back to me, even goes to the Cash App. That goes right to Big B over there. And let's give him another hand, y'all, because he puts together this show, and he also takes the show and puts it on social media. He edits this thing down. He does things that I can't do and have no time to do. So we want to thank you, Big B, for all that you do, my brother, and setting this thing up, because you make it possible for us all to get this information. All right.
Have a surprise coming from real soon, Dr. Paul. We're not going to tell them about. We're working on something for you guys, so you can find everything in one place. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that's right.
I know that's right.
And not only that, but when we get this thing, we want to also, Big B, give them the social media places that they can get this show if they want to have family that they can send the link to. We do have a Dr. Paul's, the Holistic Health Network on Facebook.
Right,
and you can get all the shows.
I send it to the men's gathering, and I also send it out to your personal Facebook page, and also my Facebook page, Bill Morgan. That's BILMORGAN. That way you can find it on all those places. And we're working on one right now. I'm working on that. Tell Dr. Paul, hopefully we'll have it set by the end of next week, so you'll be able to get at least access to some of it, because you can't get them all in one place in that short of time. Okay?
All right.
We'll see you again next week.
All right, family. I want to say thank you for chiming in. It's been a blast. Thank you for chiming in and hanging out with us at the family tree.
What's up?
All right,
Good
just
night,
before we leave, I want y'all to tap it out a little bit. Tap it out a little bit. Go ahead, tap it out a little bit. Get a little Qigong going.
Good night.
Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Good night, little Paul. All right. Good night, little Karam.
Good night, Dr. Paul. Good night, Paul.
Bye. Good night, little Karam. Tamara.
Good night, Queen.
Good night, y'all. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Tap it out, tap it out. Oh, tap it out. We got a perfect song for it, too. Tap it out, tap it out. All right. Lymphatic system. Remember, this is what? This is the K27. This is actually the kidneys right here. All right, kidneys. Good for the kidneys. Breathe, 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 breathe. Right in the chest, right here. Right in the chest, right in here. That's the thymus. That's for anyone that you know that has cancer. Tap right in the middle of that thymus, right in the chest. That activates the immune system to start to help them, right? All right. Breathe, 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 breathe. Good, good. Tap your face, tap your face, tap your face, tap your face. Oh, you know you look good. Go ahead now. You know you look good. To the head, to the head, to the head. All right. Good, good. Top of the head. What's up, Jay? What's up, Jay? What's up, brother Jay? I see you, man. All right. We're in rare form tonight. We're in rare form. All right. I want you to take a breathe in and breathe out. Blow it out. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Blow that carbon dioxide out, right? Breathe in and breathe out. One more. Breathe in and breathe out. And I want to thank you all for having this joy and time that we had this evening. I would say be encouraged, because remember, if you're breathing, you got a shot.
God bless everybody.
God bless y'all. Shake it out, y'all. Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out.
Yep.
Let me see you dance. Can you dance in your chair?
Yep.
Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all. All right, Queen Flo. We'll see you. Queen Flo. We want to thank all those that are listening in on the phone, and we aren't able to see you, but we say again, have a good night, and we say we'll see you next week. Big B, take it easy, my brother, and we'll see you on the weekend. All right.
God bless.
See ya.